Now we're back. Sorry about that. Stop the stream and restart it. So anyway, we're back on the Sand Patch train for Sand Patch Saturday. We're making our way up to Garrett, Main number 2, which is there. So we're going to go all the way down, probably around about here somewhere. We'll find out when we get close to our destination what the deal is. Hopefully everybody's having a good Saturday afternoon. Of course, Dovetail says we've got about 90 minutes on this service. I don't think so. It's probably going to take closer to 2 hours. We're going to crawl into our destination point to avoid any problems with the, we don't want to run any red lights or anything. So, yeah. So yeah, sorry about the mix-up. I probably should have just restarted the service, but we've got the thing moving here in the snow, so I like to keep the momentum going. We do have, let's see, only 2 locomotives. So we have an SD40 and a 4400 here, and that's it. No banker in the back or anything. We're hauling these car trailers to Cumberland and Maryland, and then they will be taken from there. Another service, fictional service, would take them further on into Baltimore and probably to like delivery yards for car dealerships or whatever. So, but we won't worry about that. Our job is to get them safely to Cumberland. So there's our via locations so far. Front view of our locomotive. Yeah, pretty happy with that. That it didn't. We had a few stop and goes there at first, but once we got it moving, things kind of caught on and away we went. So get a little bit more power going. Not nearly as chilly today as it was the other day here in New York. We did get a little bit of snow last night, not a significant amount, kind of a dusting, but it's all pretty much gone, and it's a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. It's still a little bit chilly, but not too bad. So a lot of stuff is turning into slush a little bit. If it gets cold tonight, it'll certainly ice back over and make sidewalks and roads dangerous again. I thought we had a helper. Huh. I could have sworn there was a helper there a little while ago. Huh. Interesting. I'm losing my mind. I thought there was a helper. When I got in here and got everything all set up, I swore there was somebody sitting over in that chair right there. Because I did, oh well. Nice relaxed stream here on Saturday. would have been on earlier. Was helping out a fellow streamer, moderating his channel. So and things went longer, way longer than I expected them to, which is fine. It's his channel, it's his thing. So I tried to stick with him to make sure there was no shenanigans in the channel during the stream. So I figure since we're still getting a little bit of snow here, sand patch must be getting hammered because they're way up higher in elevation than I am. I figured it'd be kind of nice to replicate conditions as much as possible. Thank you to my viewers for coming back. Sorry about the mix-up a little while ago. Hopefully it's enjoyable stream. There was a moment there was two of you. I guess one person was like, yeah, no, this isn't for me, which is fine. You know, sand patch is not a route for everybody. I'm going to check again for that alerter. I'm almost certain it's like right. See it, but that's fine. Take a little bit off of the throttle there. So we got a 35 coming up. So yeah, we'll go take this all the way down to Cumberland, it's Avenue. There's I think that's the kind of like when you come down into here, there's a town area, and I think so we're going to end up in somewhere along in here. We're not going to go all the way into the yard, I don't think. no way to kind of clear those off of the ice. At least the front ones here, and that's why I got this window open here. At least be able to kind of see out the side. About just under 3.5 miles there to Garrett, Main number 2. I don't expect any delays on the route. We'll see if they throw some craziness at us as we get closer to. Because after Garrett, Sand Patch will be next, which will be somewhere here. Of course, next Thursday, or this coming week on Thursday, is the new locomotive for Southeastern High Speed. Everybody seems to be pretty excited about that. We'll be picking it up on Friday morning because we have to wait for. I mean, there's no sense in me staying up till midnight on Thursday to, I might as well get some sleep and it's not going anywhere. So Friday morning I'll pick that up and we'll do some the training video and then maybe a couple of scenarios or something. I think there's 4 scenarios total for the new locomotive. That's what I've heard. I think that's what the pace is. Whether it's 3 or 4, whatever, we'll at least get 1 or 2 of them done. Make it worthwhile, and then we'll be back here on Sand Patch Grade on Saturday. We'll do maybe next. Then we'll do a reverse run from Cumberland back up. Do a service that way. You'll find some like empty coal cars or something to run back up here. That shouldn't take too long because they'll be empty, so it's not like there's a lot of weight to drag up the incline or something, maybe. Maybe we'll just do a snow on the ground, but not snowing like a blizzard. Just to kind of keep it the wintry theme here. And we'll start another weekly rotation. This Monday we'll do the American Route Monday, which will be Peninsula Corridor. We'll take the Nippon gallery cab cars to San Francisco from San Jose. We'll do that Monday morning. Get up and get that knocked out on Monday, and then or I may record it tomorrow if I can discipline myself enough and get the homework that's due on Sunday. If I can just get it knocked out Sunday morning early, then I may just do my Monday. We'll record it on Sunday for Monday that way, because I got some errands to run Monday morning before class. I need to do it then. We'll see. Then we'll do our UK Route Tuesday. We'll do if I do it may do it in the evening or late afternoon. I may do it then, and I'm going to do like West Somerset or no, we'll do London Underground. Yeah, but we'll do that later in the afternoon. I'll record it because I don't have classes get out until after 3 on Tuesday, so I can hop over, knock out a London Underground service on Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday we'll be back to German roots. Then Friday we'll do LGV Mediterranean. 2 weeks time. We'll try to do a double route since those go fairly quickly. We'll do a service one way and then we'll do a return going back. So this time we'll do from Marseille to Avignon and then Avignon back to Marseille. We'll try to do those like maybe like a late afternoon going into an evening service kind of thing. So that'll be the next couple of weeks for sure. If classes are, if I'm getting a little overwhelmed, I'm not going to be able to do the service that day. I may record it the day before, just to have it on the YouTube channel. It'll premiere on the YouTube channel on the day that it would normally be run if I was streaming on a regular basis and posting the same day. Pretty soon, I think past Garrett, we'll start dropping down to 25 miles an hour going up the sand patch. And then eventually it's just going to be all downhill from there. This run up the grade, it seems to be not nearly as bad as going from Cumberland to sand patch. Just have to look outside here. Snow drift a bit. But the powerful AC4400 plows on. So just a reminder, I did this setup in the beginning, but just a reminder, if you about the air brakes, you hit that IFD digit 1, not the F1, but just below that. That brings up your air brake menu. Cut in, cut out is your F3. So if it says cut out, you want to hit F3 to switch it to cut in. F4 is your lead / trail. If you're in the front locomotive, you want it to be lead. And then once you have that, it'll show in the I think it's in the bottom there, changes. And then you go to F6 to save the changes, and then you go to F8 to exit. And then you'll be back on the main menu. If you don't do it there, I think you can do it because they're both the same. You can come over here and do the same thing here, F1, and that'll give you your setups for your brakes. You can do it on either screen. They're both the same. So I guess if one screen dies, you can still and then the second operator has dual, or at least one screen over here to monitor everything, plus the emergency brake valve, the phone system or whatever, in case something happens to the operator over here. They can call for assistance, and they can monitor those the same screen that I have here in front of me. So, but those are the only things that you really got to worry about. Just setting up that brake. It's easy to forget because you're used to just throwing the switch and releasing the brakes and thinking, okay, I'm good to go. But if you stay in trail, you're not going to be able to move. If this says trail here, you're not going to be able to go anywhere because you're not in the trail vehicle. Okay? So, always just a quick reminder. Too easy to go over it, and it's too easy to forget, quite honestly. how to set these up, because it's not something, you know, you get in, you just manipulate a couple switches, and most of the other locomotives, like here, it's, you got this really cool computerized system, but it's easy to forget it. So just a quick friendly reminder from your friendly neighborhood Train Sim 2 operator. Yeah, just, you know, and you know, this thing is huge. Like this cab, like there's, you technically, I would guess on most runs you'd have at least 3 people. You'd have somebody here who's probably a senior operator, that in case something happens, or maybe just like a conductor of some kind who checks all the hookups on the, you know. But yeah, you got 2 additional seats there. I don't know what the you know, what Sandpatch requires, or CSX, not Sandpatch, but CSX requires for their, who sits in those seats, you know, who's qualified, especially in the center seat. I would think that's probably somebody who's been on the line for quite some time, has a bit of seniority, their judgment is trusted by the railroad. So we just passed Garrett. We're on to Sandpatch now. That's just under 6 miles to go to Sandpatch, and it's right there. So we're going to kind of zigzag some more to get there. Uphill, downhill. We're making our way there. And then eventually we will be going downhill at a quick pace. We're going to have to really watch our speed from, so Hindeman is our next go-to after, or go via location after Sandpatch number 1. And so Sandpatch number 1 looks like that. We're going to go into that tunnel leading up there, kind of a long tunnel, and then we'll make our way through Hinman. So yeah, eventually we're going to, more so when we start getting really down past this area, it's going to be almost all downhill, maybe a few flat parts, but it's going to go quick. And we're going to have to really watch our speed, because we're going to get, with the tracks being icy, we definitely don't want to run any signals. We want to try to control our speed. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but we're going to use our power brake, which is, if we take this and go put the instead of the throttle, so we're going to use brake on the throttle, and then we have our automatic brake and then our independent brake. But we'll use the power brake first and then the auto brake, kind of in conjunction, to help us keep our speed from going too crazy. We start getting downhill there. I've yet to, and I may do it one day just for the heck of it. I may do a thing where I just let, you know, when we start going downhill, just let it go. There's service there, intermodal service. Stacked pretty high there. There was only 2 locomotives. That might be a 4400 and a. Kind of ride back here. There's our safety device. Instead of the, you know, the caboose like they used to have, which would have also that at the tail end. or something like that, or lights at the tail end. This is a long train because that other one has not got here yet. Huh. I'm just curious to see what the locomotive was on it. Oh, here it comes now. So it's got the lightning bolt on the side. No, that looks like a... Huh. Maybe a Dash 8? Maybe 2 SD40s? No telling. The end of that train is already past us. There's that nice bridge there. Better not dilly-dally around too much. It'd be just my luck that a red would pop up and I'd burn it. That would be a bit embarrassing. So speaking of embarrassment, I did go back on the Schnell-Fahrstrecke. I was able to do a service fairly without much problems from Holm to Aachen, not the other way around. And I was able to get a... So it depends on what you're running, or what you're pulling. The intermodals seem way too heavy for the 185 series. Like they just don't have enough oomph to get going. And I don't. Now I did try a 185 on one of the other German routes that it's like normally operates on in the game, and I had a heavy freight. I think I was on Main Spessart Bahn. I was just kind of messing around last night, just trying to see, test some theories. The heavy freight at Main Spessart Bahn, because you only go so far, and then you have to wait for a banker locomotive to join you for the trip up the rest of the hill, and then it stops at a certain point. The banker comes off the back there, and then you continue on into the yard, your destination yard. I got that heavy freight going fairly easily, like not a lot of problems at all. So I'm guessing there might be an issue with running freight on the Schnell-Fahrstrecke route. I'm guessing that's something that they probably are aware of, and I wonder if that's just one of those things that the whole layering fiasco, that there's some problems they still need to sort out with as far as the power of the locomotive and all that. Really put off a lot of speed. So yeah, I kind of did a little bit of a test just to see what worked, what didn't work. Sand here to try to get a little bit more grip. I see the wheels are spinning. Just leave the sand on. Yeah. Try to get a little bit of grip on the icy rails there. Wasn't paying attention to our drop in speed here. So yeah, that was my finding. So I think it's just a matter of the intermodal services on either the 185.5 or the 185.2. That locomotive just cannot get get a move on, no matter if you're starting at the station on level ground. It's like there's just a little bit of a visible hump that you got to get over, and it's like no matter what you try to do to get the momentum going forward, you get either wheel spin or the locomotive just kind of it revs up, but then it just kind of gives up. So yeah, I think there's just some problems there with that. I had wished that there would have been the ability to run the 155 on the Ellerslie route. I was hoping to be able to kind of test that out and see how well that did with the intermodal, but they don't offer it. I'd have to do a scenario, I think, which might be possible to do. Maybe, I don't know if that would crash the game. Sometimes the game is very sensitive about what you do on the scenario planner. So we'll see. We'll test that theory maybe one day. I'll try it out and see if it works, and then maybe do a video about it. Because I think the 155, for whatever reason, would be able to get going. I don't know, it's kind of strange. We got enough sand. Oh, turned off on its own, I guess. Maybe after a certain point it turns off. Alright, I think we got enough sand. We're heading uphill. It's just going to be slow going. Kind of blustery conditions here on the route. I really like the 4400 in this gray, blue, yellow building. It looks really stands out really more. I think the blue is just too cliched. I think blue and yellow, blue and yellow. There's a call it school bus yellow. That's what I'm slightly colorblind, so it looks a bit orangish to me. School bus yellow doesn't look yellow to me. It looks kind of orangish. I always call it McLaren orange because it looks like the color of the old McLaren Can-Am and F1 cars from back in the 60s and 70s. Remember, I saw a Mustang it was the Laguna Seca Mustang edition at a dealership, and it was in that. The sales lady said it's school bus orange, and I said I call it McLaren orange, and she said, but it's not orange, it's or school bus yellow. I said it doesn't look yellow to me, it's like orange. So she just kind of shook her head at me, but I always I call it McLaren orange because that's what it reminds me of. Even the Trans Am Mustangs that in the Trans Am series that McLaren ran, the Boss 302s had that same orange livery as their which is weird because their Can-Am cars were powered by Chevy big block V8s, but they also ran Ford Mustang Boss 302s in the Trans Am series. They didn't run Camaros. So a little bit of motorsports history there for you. As I understand it. But I don't want to say I'm a complete subject matter expert, but from what I've seen, they never ran Camaros, or Camaros, as some people pronounce it. Anywho, let's see. Let's grab a snack here while we're going up the hill. Pardon me. So I will admit, this inspiration, I mean, I already planned this. I just didn't know, I mean, I was going to have the snow, but I didn't really think about a blizzard-like condition. This was partly inspired by one of the viewers on the stream I was moderating today. So, Bithers, if you're watching this at some point, hope you're enjoying it. Shout out to him. He always jokes around that if any of the other gamers who I watch on YouTube ever get stuck on Sand Patch, I live right next to it. I can walk over there and help them get unstuck. So I always joke around. And sure, I'm gonna start walking now. That way, if they get stuck, I'll be there to help them by the time they hit a spot where they get stuck. So. It's all good. I don't know. I think I learned, and forgive me if I repeat myself sometimes when I'm streaming or making videos, but this route, especially probably more than any route on this game, it requires a lot of patience. Like, it's not a fast route. Look at we're making 21 miles an hour going up a 1.1% grade. We got just under 2 miles of sand patch. You're not going to be able to do this route in like 30 minutes. I mean, you can try. You could try, but I don't think you're going to succeed. Especially going uphill with this kind of weight behind us. Even with 4 locomotives, I think you'd be hard pressed. At 4 here at the front, maybe even 2 at the back, you're still limited by route speeds and the ability of everything to kind of work together. So this route really, it does teach you a lot of patience. Well, I think all the routes do. Excuse me, but this route in particular, I think that's why I wouldn't say a lot. That's why some people have a problem with this route, just throwing out words like boring and, it's just, why would you do this route on a stream, I just think some people just can't handle enjoy it for what it is. I mean, you've got some really nice scenery, whether it's sunny or if it's snowy or rainy or whatever. There's just a lot of nice scenery here along the way. And when you're young, you don't always appreciate those things because it's boring. It's not. It doesn't excite. It's like, oh, this is when people think about nature and the trees and stuff like that. I know when I used to, my family took me to, my brother and I to Muir Woods, for instance, where, as it turns out, that's where George Lucas filmed a lot of the forest scenes for Return of the Jedi. Was there in those woods. And, you don't think about those things when you're young, because you don't appreciate it. But, when you're older, you think, oh, it'd be nice to go walk along the giant redwood trees. But yeah, this route does require a lot of patience. You know, when you're first starting out here on this route, if you don't, you know, there's plenty of videos out here. I'm not the only person who's done tutorials on the setup of the AC4400. But I've found often that whenever I've not run a locomotive or anything in a while, I struggle to remember where all the bits and pieces are, or bits and bobs, as my friends in the UK like to say, that you need to make sure are switched on or whatever to run the service. So yeah, it's just a this, you know, I don't know that I know any more than anybody else on this route, and surely there's probably some people who watch streams who have actually driven a locomotive on this route, possibly, I don't know. But you know, it's I don't mind taking the time to kind of reinforce things like the, you know, the air brakes and making sure you've got everything set up, because we all forget. And you know, stuff like that, I think it's easy to get frustrated and then just, you know, like say, screw it, I'm not going to do this route anymore, you know, whatever. Because, you know, instead of just taking a step back and just taking your time with the setup and everything, oh, look who's back. I got a helper now all of a sudden. Where did you come from? He's looking over at me like, what's he talking about? Why is he talking about me? Like, am I here? Am I not here? Anyway, yeah, that's wow. I didn't even know when that happened. I just noticed that. Anyway, so yeah, I think he's back in the other locomotive, taking a siesta or something. Leaving me up here all by myself, back there being lazy. Man, I'll have to report him to the AI bosses and say, hey, you know, your helper disappeared on me. That's not cool. So anyway, yeah, I can't claim to be an expert on this route. I just try to think about some of the experiences that I've had on the route so far. I thought originally when this came out, I was going to just play the heck out of this route, and you know, when I saw, oh my goodness, it's at least 2 hours per. You know, we're coming up on almost 45 minutes. Probably hit 45 or so minutes once we pass sand patch number 1, and we still got. We've got Hindman, probably at least 2 other after Hindman to go through. So yeah, 90 minutes I just can't see. I'd be surprised if we do it in 90 minutes. I'm not expecting it. But anyway, like I was saying, I just try to take my time. If anybody does get stuck, then if I'm watching the stream, I try to give my suggestions that from my own experience. Sometimes it helps. Other people may have other options or whatever, other things that they've done to kind of get their... So yeah, the dynamic brake, that's what we're going to be using. I called it the power brake, but it's the dynamic brake. But you're using kind of the engine help brake going downhill. But anyway, so yeah, I appreciate Pithers' faith in my abilities. I don't know that I'm any better than anybody else. I just try to, because this game is enjoyable, but it's also frustrating at times, like what happened on Snell Farstrecke the other day. But you know, it's easy to just give up. But you know, who knows? Something you may do may help somebody else figure something out, or get unstuck on the route or something. So 13 miles to Hinman. That's all. Okay, so that's way over there. Yeah, we're chugging along here. So 35 goes down to 30. And then eventually, I think after that, we start seeing the 25 mile an hour speed limit. We're almost at the point of getting to the top of the, you know, start seeing some downhill area there, and it'll just be, you know, kind of controlling our speed and making sure we don't get out of hand. I'm going to go ahead and get the throttle off here, because we might start getting some more downhill action here. Now there is a glitch, kind of. How are we going downhill? Oh, you know what? Because there might be still. I know why. We've got cars still on the uphill portion. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Not everything's on the downhill slope, I think. Yeah, the other day, if you overdo it with the horn too much, it'll start to echo, and it'll be kind of like stuck. It's just a big old mess, so we won't get too crazy with the horn. Alright, so we should start going downhill here. So to go into the dynamic brake, if you're on a controller, you just hit your right bumper. That'll take you from idle, setup, and then when you go B, now you're in the dynamic brake range. Now, I'm not going to freak out if we go a little bit over the speed limit. That doesn't make, that's fine with me. And we weren't even like a full mile an hour over. We just got dinged for probably like 30.5 miles an hour or some crazy thing like that. To take it out of the dynamic brake, you just pull your right trigger. That will subtract take you out, and then you just go back to setup. I'll probably keep it right here at setup, just because it's easier to. I think we're going to be mainly going downhill now. There might be maybe a few minor uphill sections, but if you notice if you hear it, if you listen, the engine does engage for the slowing of, it's kind of like when you downshift in a automatic car, maybe, or a manual car. No. Oh, it's still got stuff in there. There's two engines, and it looks like mixed freight coming up the hill here. Now look at the braking. If I put on the automatic brake, it will start to, the wheels will start to spin. But this one's got, look at that, two bankers at the back. Nice. Spike on that. That's crazy. Just with a little bit of the automatic brake. Yeah, this is gonna be challenging for sure. But we're gonna rise to the challenge as best as possible. Let's get a little bit of sand on the line here. Wow, that thing is really going. We're going to kind of use the independent brake as well to help slow down. We're going to be losing some serious points. Let's see, we take the power brake off, or the dynamic brake I should say. We're going to kind of use a little bit of both. Boy, it is not wanting to slow down. Losing points here. I think we'll still get a... Wow, it is not wanting to... This is crazy. Yeah, we're getting... Wow, this is... I did not expect this. Still, I cannot get it to go back down below. Wow, this is nuts. Wow, I cannot get it. It starts to slow down and then it just breaks free. Well, so far we've not had to worry about running a light. Let's move that into full service. Let's see if we can finally get this thing under control here. If we have to take it all the way down to stopping, then so be it. It's just, this is crazy. I've got the brakes completely on. sanding it, and it's like I'm not even, it's trying to slow down, but it's like I can't get it to, it's still gonna say I'm over the speed limit. Wow, we're gonna get a silver at the rate this is going. I'm not gonna be able to get enough points. The only way it's gonna slow down is if we get, if we hit a uphill section here. So now we're looking at we may have to go into emergency brake just to kind of get things back under control here. The only problem is I feel like we're, even with the emergency, we're still not going to get it under control. Like it's just probably just skidding down the, yeah, look at that. We're just sliding down the, wow, look at that. The wheels aren't even moving. We're just skidding down the heights. Holy crap. Oh my God. Oh no, this is not going to be well. I can already tell. Look at, we're not slowing down at all. All right, I'm gonna have to pop the, I'm gonna have to go into emergency brake. That's the only way maybe we're gonna be able to get this thing under control. Wow, that is just nuts. Look at that. They are locked up. And we're just sliding on the rails. Good Lord. What about back here? They're locked up too. Look at that. That is amazing. I never thought I would see that. Well, it seems like we're trying to slow down even more, but man, this is nuts. It seems, yeah, I kind of feel like we are starting to slow down, but we've lost, like, we just lost a ton of points this whole time. Look at that, we're still just sliding along. Yeah, we need like a down or an uphill section, and that may be enough to get us stopped. But then the hard part is going to be getting it moving. Wow, this is nice. Look at that. That is just, wow. I didn't even think it would be that big of a problem. Like, it seems like we're kind of, okay, now we're finally slow. Oops. I just saw it. We finally got some points so we are kind of back under control, but I'm gonna let it be where it is, and then I'm just gonna let us hopefully come to a stop here because we're going downhill. Once the brakes and everything kind of recharge and get released, then I think we'll be okay. But yeah, we're definitely back under control. Wow, that is just nuts. I never thought I'd see that. Well, just learn something new every day. Even with the sand, it just never. Okay, now we're finally coming to a stop. Wow. Okay, now it just kind of like this. It's trying. Look at that. It's like still trying to go. The wheels are kind of like. That's nuts. Okay, let's get this brake released. Wow. Just releasing that, it started going. Alright, let's go back here to full service. Alright, let's get off the engine here for just a second. That is nuts. I'm so glad we did it this way because I never saw something like that on this game until now. That is just crazy. Okay, so let's get the sand going again. Just gonna drop some sand here now. I don't know where the sand comes from. I kind of think it's from like right here, but I could be wrong. I don't know. You don't see it dropping, but I'm only guessing that it comes from here and it gets onto the wheels and it just kind of there as well. But wow, even the everything back here was locked up. Woo-wee. Okay, let's get these released. Look at that. It was ready to go. Like, holy crap. It was ready to release. And we're heading downhill. Like, I'm surprised that it's not releasing completely. Let's just give it a little bit of gas to get moving. That was insane. All right, we're just gonna get it going. Once we get up to about a mile an hour or so, I'm gonna take it. A little bit more power here. Because those brakes must have really locked up. We just got to get a little bit of power going, get things moving here. Wow. Well, that's a learning experience right there. That was crazy. So now see, now it's like it's slowing down again. Alright, now it's speeding up. Alright, so now that we have kind of things under control, I'm going to move this back into the dynamic brake area. I'm going to keep, because I want to keep I want to try to slow that descent a little bit more. Now, this is going to take some time, definitely, because that is just, and we're going to be real, like once we get here, the speeds start to kind of pick up again, but I'm really concerned now if that's how it was on this, going into Cumberland, our stopping point, we are going to have to be very, very careful because we were just going, sliding on this, like these were completely locked up. But even look at, like, I'm using the dynamic brake, and that is not, that's not doing much for us. It's like it's just going back under lost control again. Look at this, is locked up. Some of them are spinning. This is nuts. Like, I didn't think this was going to be like this. Look at that. We're going again. It's like I've got it locked up on the automatic brake, and we're just sliding. There's absolutely no grip. Wow, this is really crazy. Well, at least now we know what to kind of expect. Yeah, this Cumberland is going to be a real. Let's see, what about the independent brake? throw that on. Look at that. That is just nuts. Yeah, once it gets going, it's like there's just no... I have to basically put it into emergency brake to get it to stop again. Yeah, it's starting to slow down now. Alright, so 6.5. Let's just see if we can get... This is just insane. Look at that, we're going backwards. This is going to take quite some time. This is insane. I honestly did not expect this. This is wow. I don't know how to keep it from going out of control, to be honest. I mean, look at that. The back car is just hit, and all of a sudden now we're just gaining speed quickly. It seems kind of like our windows have... Where'd our helper go? He chickened out. What? Okay, I'm definitely reporting them to the union. Alright, let's see if we use the independent brake, if that helps keep things under control a little bit better. Maybe an independent, maybe just a bit of the dynamic. Let's try that and see if that helps. Wow, that is just, oop, nope, that just, again, it goes into lockup pretty much. It's like now all of a sudden yeah, look at that. It just, that front wheel is just spinning crazy. Yeah, I don't know how to get this thing to slow down, keep under a certain speed limit to... This is going to be crazy. We still got like 8.2 miles to Inman. I mean, it's essentially all downhill from here. Wow. And the only way is I have to throw it into emergency brake every so often. In order for it to get under control. I honestly didn't expect this. This is this is a whole new learning experience here today. That's for sure. All right, so 18. Now, okay, let's see if we can. So if we're gonna have to use the emergency brake kind of to maintain our speed, kind of, I guess that's what we're gonna have to do. That's the only way, it seems. So if it starts to get up to 20, so we're getting back up to a little bit higher speed. Man, I am really, this is going to be tough getting into freaking, so we got Hinman, Ellerslie, and then our stopping location. Going into Cumberland, I'm really concerned that we are going to go blowing by the what do you call it, the stop point, and we're going to run a red, and then that'll be the end of that. Well, see, right now it's still kind of, things are kind of calmed down, so I'm okay with if we stay around about here. I'm not gonna put the throttle back on, because it's just like they're just went, yep. So now all these cars just kind of slammed against the SD40 here. And now we're finally going back downhill a little bit more, and so we're gonna our speed's gonna pick back up again. But it's like it's struggling. Like I don't know. That's weird. The brakes are like, it slows down. Now we're speeding back up again. Yeah. See, look at that. 17, 18, 19. Look at just how fast those wheels are spinning, and we're only doing 20 miles an hour. But I think with the ice, it's just... let's see if we got... Let's just use the brake here on its own. Full service. If we have to throw on... Okay, it's starting to slow down a little bit. Wheels are still moving. Okay, it's starting to slowly slow down. I want to drop some sand here real quick to see if that helps. Okay, that's giving us some grip. Now, 0.8% of a grade isn't too bad. All right, let's release the brake. So yeah, a little bit of sand and using just the automatic brake seems to be okay. I mean, we're not flying down the hill, like we don't have like a 1.5, 1.8% grade right now. But man, that was nuts. All right, so let's get the brake back on again, because we don't want, trying to avoid that crazy, just out of control. Get the sand on again to try to help with the grip. Wow, okay, now it's catching. I'm trying to get it down to about 15 miles an hour or so, and then I think we'll be okay. But if we keep it below 25, we're almost at the point of hitting 35, but we won't be able to really do anything on 35 until that last even that's not going to be much to play with going. Yeah. So at Ellerslie, yeah, we're going to have to crawl as much as possible. I know the speed gets up to like 50, 60 something miles an hour. I don't feel confident after seeing what I saw with the locking up of these the wheels and just skidding along, that we're going to be able to keep the train under control very well. It's going to be it's just not, we're going to have to keep it like at 15 miles an hour if possible. And we're just going to have to sand the heck out of the rail to help with the grip. You know, I don't know if there's, oh, look at that, it just went, yeah, see now it's having a tough time, like it slows down and then it just kind of breaks free again. Right. Yep, see, look at that. That is crazy. So now it went to 30. So even that is not much. Okay, now we're finally keeping it under control. But that's just, it's like I've got the full brake on there and it's just not really giving. Let's put on a little bit of independent brake and see if that helps. No. Once I stop using the sand, it's like it just wants to kind of break free there. And alright, let's let that go. Let's let this go. As long as I can keep it down, keep it at 10 or so, and I can kind of control from here without it getting out of hand. Look at that, it's like this huge push, and then it gains the speed again. Wow. Well, Bithers, you wanted a challenge. You certainly gave me one. Let's see if I can make this happen. I'll be surprised. It's gonna take a lot longer than I expected. Look, we're already at an hour 19. We got about 10 minutes, give or take, until we're at the hour and a half mark for what Dovetail says takes to complete this route, or this service. So, yeah, I may have to write them a nice letter at the end and say, yeah, I don't know how you guys time it, but there's no way, if you are safe, there's no way you're going to do this service, probably regardless of the weather, in an hour and a half. It's just not possible. But it's going to take even longer now because I'm trying to keep this train under control, and it's, it certainly is quite the task to complete. And it's weird because it did say we were supposed to go up to 35, and now we're kind of stuck at 30 for a bit longer. I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's something ahead of us that we have to drop our speed because is there another train ahead of us and they're trying to keep us from catching up? It doesn't look like there is one, but yeah, good call, Pithers. Honestly, dude, I'm glad you did it. I'm glad I'm answering the challenge. Ooh boy, it is a wow. Look at that. It's like the light, only one part of the light's on. That's crazy. What about the back here? What are the lights on in the back here? I said dim lights in the back, didn't I? Or is it dim lights back here? Nope. Huh. Oh well. Ooh boy. It's starting to speed up again. Let's get the sand on and get things back under control here. Wow, it's gonna take a miracle because yeah, that grade is way too steep, and well, that sand is definitely helping with catching the brakes. Maybe getting a little bit on the rail there will kind of help get things under control here. But I'm glad I'm glad I kind of went out the cab there and watched those wheels, because I was like, why are, it's just like we're just still going, and I didn't even think about that they were just locked up and we were just kind of sliding on the I wonder how many times that's happened in real life with operators, that you're going down this pretty steep grade and on a winter day. I would think that at a certain point, quite honestly, if I had to guess, if you weren't able to keep control of the train, and the wheels were just locking up, the brakes were locked up on there, I would imagine they would just say stop the service at this next safest area and wait for things to kind of clear up, yeah, because I can't imagine that would be too safe to do. I'm sure they would have told the operator, get to the next kind of yard, or just park it where it is, go to the service road, wait for somebody to come and get you, but just park it there or something, maybe, or park it in place and just stand by. I just can't imagine that they would say that it's safe to operate when something like that's happening. And if they have to throw the emergency brake in order to bring the train to a stop finally, yeah, that doesn't seem very safe. So yeah, I would think that they would just cancel the service. Now, the weather hasn't necessarily improved. Not that there's technically kind of dynamic weather on the LGV route, but not on all the routes. So it's not like the weather has suddenly improved here on Sandpatch grade, where we could safely operate the service all the way into Cumberland without any major incidences happening. Whether man, could you imagine going into the Cumberland yard and you cannot slow down, and basically you have to declare an emergency, and they're gonna have to clear areas, because how are you going to bring the train to a stop? So yeah, I would think that if at this point, we're more than halfway there. I think it just maybe halfway, give or take, as the crow flies, as they like to say here in America. I would think they would just say park it. It's just we can't run the risk of a runaway train on an icy track. The crew is going to have to go out and try to make, chip ice off, or, yeah, I couldn't imagine them saying that it would be okay for them to continue operating. You know, certainly that's, I guess, you know, back in the day, that's why you would have a caboose, and if something were to happen. Now, the other thing that I would think that you would have to be concerned about is you're parking on a downhill, which does help you get moving the next day, but, you know, of course, you're going to have to check all of your brake lines to make sure that they're not frozen. The brake pads aren't frozen to the metal. So that would be, yeah, this would be just a huge, this set would have the beginnings of a huge mess on this line, I would think. But, you know, me being me, I gotta answer to rise to the challenge of operating this locomotive in a freight service on this line. And, you know, it's snowy conditions, but now we know what happens. It's certain, you know, it adds a element of stress that you don't really expect, quite honestly. It certainly does. I mean, it really, you know, makes you really have to think now, like, as you're going down this part of the grade, how are you going to control your speed? You know, you have to be ready to throw it in the you know, emergency brake situation to get it to come to a halt, and then you can kind of start off again, and hopefully from there, like, if I hadn't done that, I think we'd still, you know, just some of the curves I might have, like, actually derailed the train, I think, which would have been interesting to see on the stream, but, you know, I would have failed the you know, I would have derailed and failed the service. Yeah, you know, me. I gotta see if I can rise to the challenge, and I hope right now. I don't think, you know, and I'm sure Heather is gonna leave me a comment when I post this on YouTube, whenever I get done, that I met the challenge, and we'll see. Fingers crossed. No spatting, as they call it. You run a red light. No running red lights, none of that stuff. If we can do that, I feel pretty confident that we made it through the craziness that this route handed us today. So, yeah, I'm hoping. You know, as long as I think if I operate smartly here on the line, and I don't do anything crazy, and I'm able, even if we have to stop a little short, I'd rather do that. As long as I get the completion of the service, I'm okay with stopping before, a little bit before the our marker. I'd much rather do that than even remotely run the risk of running that light. I don't want to do that, definitely. I would feel very embarrassed if I do that. So we're going to try to do this smartly as much as possible, as much as the game allows us to play smart, operate the train smart. I know I'm kind of breaking my own rule of being outside here, but I'm just kind of so the brakes are kind of working now. We got a tunnel here. It should be just a short tunnel, but I have to go back inside the cab because you can't run outside, I don't think. I think even on this route. Let's see if I can go down here. It may still push me back into the cab. Yep, there it goes. At least here it's a little bit dry inside, so that will help with the brakes. All I need now is for the horn to get stuck on. So we're over the hour and a half that the game at Dovetail says takes to do this. So bless you, Dovetail Games. Bless you. We're going to complete this regardless if it takes us 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We're going to complete it, and we're going to do it smartly. We're not going to be like a couple of the employees and SPAD. I guess this week when they were showing off some of the new stuff, there was a couple of SPADs. There was I think somebody blew a station, failed to stop for the station, and went past it or something. So bless you, Dovetail Games. We're gonna show you how it's done. That's the new challenge. There we go. We're not just gonna make Pithers laugh. We're gonna show Dovetail Games how it's done. There we go. A crusty American is gonna operate your rail safely. Your railroad. Not yours, but CSX. We're going to operate it safely. We're going to get to our destination. We're going to kind of show them how it's done. So, knock on wood. I'm trying not to be too boastful, but fingers crossed, toes crossed, eyes crossed, whatever you got to cross. That's what we're going to do. That's the bigger challenge. So. All in good fun, of course. All in good fun. But I can't wait to write up the description for this video when I post it on YouTube, because I don't think anybody's going to believe it. Hopefully, please, I really hope, and I'm going to put this in the description on YouTube as well. Watch it all the way through, especially as we get, let's see, past, once we got past Sand Patch, watch the entire way and watch those wheels lock up. You will be kind of like, wow, that was, yeah. So hopefully everybody enjoys it. It's going to be a bit interesting. You know, please do leave comments if you're watching it on YouTube that you saw the wheels locking up. You know, thankfully, I don't know if I don't want to take, I just kind of guessed of what would be the best course of action to kind of get things under control. You know, thankfully, we did not derail the train. I thought that was going to be a possibility at a couple points there, that we were just so, things were so out of control that the train was just going to never slow down. It was just only going to get faster and faster, and then bam, that was going to, excuse me, that was going to be it. So hopefully this has been a good learning experience for anybody who watches this video. There's another service there. 2 locals in the front. Looks like mixed freight, kind of. Lots of tanker cars so far. Like 2 box cars or something. Now it's all tankers. Oh boy, I wonder if there's going to be any tanker locomotives at the end here. Let's keep an eye out and see. No, it does not look like it. Oh wait, it's not at the end. Nope, just a wow. Ooh-wee. You know what I have to wonder if we had tanker locomotives at the back, would that have helped slowing down? You know, Certainly would have helped with the, climb up the grade just to get up to sand patch. But what if we had bankers there at the back, would we have been able to kind of keep things under control a little bit easier? And I was thinking about this before I got on. Wouldn't it be nice, like, if you could, come up to a yard and you're like, I think I'm going to need banking service. I'm going to need some help. Now, of course, I would think that normally that would be something that would be put on the service schedule. But what if you're just like, the conditions are a bit iffy. Can we get a banker to help us out? What if you were able to call in for that help, or hit a button, call the dispatcher, ask for a couple of banking locomotives to help with braking and stuff like that. And so then they send a couple SD40s or some -8s or whatever out to you to hook up to the back end, and then like they're there like at a siding or something, and you're able to get that help. That would be kind of a cool thing, I would think. But again, I would imagine that's something that that would be already be included on the train to begin with. But what if you just are like, I'd feel a little bit better if we had a couple of locomotives at the tail end there just to kind of help out with things. But I wonder, part of it too is would it be something that they would have to be concerned about, a crew that is not well rested, that they would have to call in off of their time off or something, which would be a safety problem, safety concern sort of thing. So we still got 3.2 miles to Hindman. We're trying to slowly make our way there. We're going down a 1.5% grade. It's like I slow down and then it just goes right back up again. So I'm getting a bit concerned about normally the sand is helping with the grip, and we're finally getting things slow. Now, see, it does it. It goes down to like 21, and then it just speeds right back up again. Wow, I can't get a good grip on the. That's insane. Alright, let's see if we throw on the independent brake as well. Let's get a little bit of pressure on that. Let's go back to the sand. See if that helps get things under control. I think as long as I can keep dropping the sand. Now, I don't know, again, I'm beginning to wonder if there's even a possibility of running out of sand, to be honest. I would venture that that's probably somewhat of the ballast of the train, but is there a possibility of running out of sand? Wow, look at that. It's like it slows down and it just completely releases again. I see, that's a little bit better, but yeah, it's really difficult to get. Alright, let's see if I can let's get a little bit more pressure on the independent brake. I'd like to get it back down to like 10 miles an hour before we release the brakes, quite honestly. You see, look at that. It's like it goes, but it's just it's almost like an accordion effect. guess if I absolutely have to, I'll throw the emergency brake on again. We'll come to a screeching halt. We still got 2.2 miles to Hinman. We're getting there. That, of course, that 2.2 miles, I'm almost certain. Maybe one of these days I'm going to question dovetail games about it. Is a direct. That's 2.2 miles direct straight across, not, you know, amongst the curves. You know, because we're going to go away from it and then go back towards it. So I don't think that's a fair representation of the distance that we have to go to get to that via location point. Just a couple toots of the horn. We're not going to lay on the horn. We don't want that fiasco. I think this is all fuel tanks here. I really don't know where they store. I wonder if there's a way to look it up. Where do they store the sand for to use like on a, you know, to help out with grip on the rail? Alright, so we finally, things seem to kind of be back under control just a bit, so we're going to release the brakes. So just after Hinman, we got the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up. Our helper finally showed. Oh, look at the helper bus is just chickened out. Like, oh no, I'm not gonna go skidding down the rails here. I haven't been on the railroad long enough to, you know, I'm not comfortable with this. So, yeah, I guess he chickened out. That's okay. We're gonna drive on. Probably bailed out somewhere way back when. I don't think he's not in the other locomotive here. Nope, he's not there. He must have quit on the job. His loss. We're gonna get this completed. Do it. Let's get some more sand here on the rails and the wheels there. Yeah, so I might have to take a nap after this. This might wear me out completely. Woo-wee. Oh, here comes another service. What do we got? 1, 2 locomotives. Oh, look, it's a mirror service going up the other way. The car carriers. Let's see if they have any banking service here. Well, of course, you know, the AI operators, they never make any mistakes. They don't run red lights or anything like that, or lose control of their train. Kind of like what we're getting ready to do. Oh, look at that. They got banking service. Oh, you know what? I want to file a complaint now. For sure. I want to talk to my boss. This is baloney. They get a banking service. I don't get one. I don't get any help with the braking at all or nothing. I want a raise. I want a bonus. If I deliver this thing, I want a bonus. They're going to give you a bonus for this. if I can make it all the way there and don't run a red light, I better get a bonus. I want a nice $10,000 bonus. No, not even 10,000. I want a nice $100,000 bonus. There we go. Those are my demands. I want to talk my union rep, because they didn't, you know, they should have called in and canceled this service after a while. It's not safe. That's the way I look at it. I want a bonus. Alright, so 50's coming up. Like I said, we're gonna, even after that, we're gonna go a little bit quick to try to make up a little bit of time. Not that it's gonna make much difference, because we're almost at the 2-hour mark here. But we're going to, once we get close to Ellerslie or whatever, we're gonna have to keep an eye on the speedometer. See, look at that! Look at that! It was so ready to get going again. Oh, I have to be ready to get that automatic or the emergency brake. Look at that! Look at that! It's starting to get out of control again. All right, let's go all the way to. Let's get it back under control here. We're gonna just put it on emergency. Well, I guess that 50 mile an hour is coming up a lot quicker than I expected. I mean, we've got both of these on full application, and that was not enough. Because now you know, we're starting to hit that over 1% downhill, and with all that weight behind us, it's easy for all that weight to just push these two locomotives down the hill much quicker. It is safe. So we're gonna just bring this thing back under control here. We have to use the emergency brake to bring it to a halt. That's what we'll do. Put the sand on to try to help with the grip. I'd rather do it this way if, you know, this is safer than. We're not too far from Hinton. Just right around the corner there. Wow, even with the emergency brake, it's not okay. Well, at least we got, okay, we're back under control, so that's okay. That's good. Wow, look at that. It's ready to go. Now it's like, oh, no, not yet. Alright, let's just see if it'll start kind of going on its own here. Yep, there it goes. Kinda. It's trying. It's thinking about it. Boy, those brakes on those freight cars must be really. It's taking a little bit longer to. I really, honestly, if we weren't going to get any kind of banking help at the back, I would have preferred a few more locomotives, because at least having those extra wheels, the extra brakes may have slowed us down a little bit easier. But it is what it is. Bless you there, Dovetail. Bless you. You definitely made it worth it. It's definitely interesting. I'll give you that. It's a challenge. But we're gonna rise to the challenge of Matt and Natalie. and sand. Spatters and runners of stations alike. I shouldn't say. I've done it too. This is I really want to finish this without something like that happening. What I'm gonna say, I want to see if I can do it. All right, let's just get the brake on here. See if it starts to slow us down without. I wouldn't mind parking. Can any of these houses like just put me up for the night? You know, is there a bed and breakfast or something here in town, or if I just park the locomotive and wait for the weather to kind of change a little bit, maybe. All right, so we did pass the 50. Now we're just waiting on another. Recognized from around the complex here. Yeah, we're gonna go up to 50, but so Hinman, here we come. Just past this bridge here. This nice little bridge. Well, yeah, this is. I'm glad I did this. I really am. This has been educational for me as far as this, how this. You know, I would have never thought about this. That, you know, it's basically just gonna slide down that hill. So, good to know. Alright, there's Hinman. And we got one more via location. Let's see how much farther that is. "11 miles to Ellerslie," which is right there. So at some point we're going to see things jump up to 50 here. There it goes. Weird. I want to kind of get up there in speed to try to kind of help make. I mean, it's not that we have a time hack to be in. Well, theoretically, I would think that they want you there by a certain time, because if you're not, you're looking at possibly holding up other services on the line. I think. That'd be my guess. Alright, there we go. The number lights are back. It seemed like a bit of a... What about these rear... Let's release this. That's not what I wanted to do. Just the regular automatic brake. There we go. Lights are not on. Huh. Interesting. Oh well, we'll just leave them off. As we get closer to Ellerslie, we'll start definitely kind of getting things under control. And yeah, we're not going down too fast of a grade right now, but it doesn't seem like it's going to take long for us to get up to 50, even because I think it's just more of that weight of those car carriers pushing against the two locomotives. There's more weight there than there is up here, it seems like. Now, I can't be held responsible for any cars that break along the way. You have to charge CSX because they told me to do the service. Now getting... Oh, come on, don't do... Yeah, now... Wow, what in the world is going on with Twitch today? I mean, I'm... Yeah, now I just have this... I don't know if it's just the website is acting up. There we go. Okay. We're back. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and get the brakes on. I mean, we're not going down too sharp of a grade, so the brakes should be okay. Kind of getting us back under control here. Not that we're out of control, but we don't want to chance that. Let's get some more sand here. Well, this is definitely, I guess, a bit more exciting than the coal loading I did last Saturday on this route. I then run it up to its parking spot for to be taken elsewhere later. So, yeah, this has been quite a time on the route today. So our stopping location, Cumberland, yeah, there's that. And now it said something about 18th Avenue, which I think is going to be somewhere, it's got to be somewhere along here, and we're just going to park it somewhere there, maybe. I guess we'll see once we get past Ellerslie. Welcome to my second viewer. Thank you for joining. We're here at the tail end of a long service. You missed the wheels locking up earlier. These wheels here, all locked up. And we were just basically skidding down the railway. I had to throw on the emergency brakes to bring the train back under control. We've had to do a few unexpected stops along the way to keep control of the train. So it has been quite a interesting service. So we've gone well past the 90 minutes that Dovetail says takes to do this service. So we are now in 2 hours, and we still got Ellerslie to get through, and then going on into Cumberland. I don't expect that that's going to take too long to get there, although we are crawling, mainly because it's better, I think, to keep things slow right now so that we don't accidentally run any red lights. I'd rather try to keep the speed below a certain level so that when we get into close to Cumberland, our final destination, wherever that may be in Cumberland, that we're not going to chance running any red lights, so we may stop short. So yeah, you missed some excitement earlier with these wheels were just completely stopped, but this train was just going. Yeah, it was interesting. So good learning experience for me. I will admit it was something I wasn't expecting. Oh, and then my second viewer decided to leave. Somebody, whoever, I had 2 viewers, lost one of them. So, yeah, good stuff. Well, it is what it is. Thank you to whoever you were that popped in for a few minutes just to see what we were up to. Let's see if we still manage to get a gold. I don't know how that's going to play out, if we're going to have enough points, because for a while we were significantly over the speed limit, which means we didn't even get the minimum 15 points. So 15 action points is the least you can get. Well, I guess no action points is the very least you can get. That's if you just are speeding with reckless abandon. You won't get points at all for that. But if you're not interested in leveling up your route or anything, and that's what you get. So anyway. Alright, let's get the brake back on again. I think past Ellerslie is when it starts the speed starts to kind of pick back up. Right now it's saying 50, but I thought once, there was a point where it got up like to 60 or 65, maybe 70. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of a different route, but I thought it went past 50. Yeah, it's a smaller grade here, so the brakes should be able to safely bring their speed down without any wheel lockup or anything like that. So you can hear, see, it's kind of like it's struggling. You just hear the grinding of the brakes and okay, I'm going to go ahead and release the brakes now. Now, normally I'm trying not to be outside the cab too much and but I'm really curious just to kind of keep an eye on those wheels just to see what happens. So forgive my curiosity, but after what I witnessed earlier, that was, and, oh, could you imagine, like, if that had happened in real life, those things were locked up like that? With the cold weather, I wonder if it would just, well, there'd be the heat generated from the brakes against the wheels. I wonder if it would get so hot they would just kind of melt together. Or, I mean, I'm sure they use some kind of a, specialized metal that wouldn't melt together, but still, this train might, maybe, I'm guessing, if this was real life. Although I still think that if this was real life, we would not have, they would have just said stop the service until later. But could you imagine that the maintenance, both of these locomotives would have to be probably taken out of service and have those brakes, serviced or looked at. The whole system probably would have to be checked out to make sure that there's no damage from everything locking up like that. I don't know how often these get replaced. That'd be an interesting thing to figure out or learn about. Yeah, this has been quite the adventure. Yeah, we're just gonna slowly make our way. I know it's gonna. I get that it's not the most exciting thing, but I really want to complete this. That's my mission now, is to complete the service. Don't spat it, and be done. And whatever metal I get from it, so be it. I'm hoping for gold, but I don't care if I get a silver or not. Still, I think would be if I complete it, I'd be completely happy that we did better than the Dovetail Games employees themselves, who have been notoriously spatting and blowing stations recently, especially when they're showcasing new routes. That's a bit, I guess it'd be embarrassing. Yeah, let's just call it what it is. It's embarrassing. But that's okay. It's all in good fun. It happens. It's not real life, but I want to see if I can't do it. That's my goal. So, Pithers, if you're watching at this point on my YouTube channel, at some point today or tomorrow, whenever you do see it, hopefully you've enjoyed it the entire time. And, I'm sure next time we're in a chat together on somebody else's channel, I'm sure you'll be talking about it a little bit. Or you can message me on Discord. Let me know what you think. You can do that too. We don't talk about my stream and other people's when other people are streaming. Try to respect their things. So anyway, yeah, I'm curious about your thoughts, Pillars. Yeah, I think tomorrow I'm going to have to take a break from watching the streams, maybe. I got to get my German homework done and my macroeconomics homework done, and then that'll be it for tomorrow. I'm just going to try to get that knocked out in the morning, and then just kind of relax for the rest of the day on Sunday. Get right back to it. I think if maybe later in the afternoon or evening time on Sunday, I'll do include the route on for Monday. I'm gonna try. I probably will try to do that on Sunday. Actually, once I got to get my homework done first. I've been kind of procrastinating, so get that done on Sunday, and then on Monday I'll get I'll get the route done on Sunday for American Route Monday, because I got some things to do Monday morning before class. Speed down a bit here. I'll go ahead and release the brakes. Yeah, I got to get some stuff done on Monday, and then Tuesday evening we'll do London Underground. And I'll do that as long as I don't have anything else to work on. But I will have to kind of start getting more reading done. I do have to do I wouldn't say it's a book report. We have to. This will be more later in the semester. We have to do a presentation on a book by a German author. We'll read it in English, but we have to kind of talk about, the main characters, the themes in the book, a little bit about the author themselves. So yeah, I'm doing a double whammy on that one. So, but as much as I enjoy doing this, I really do. I didn't think I would, but my studies do have to come first. I don't want to. I've gotten in the habit in the past of blowing off studies to play video games, and I don't want that to be a habit again. I did quite a bit when I used to play, Destiny and Division, and I am a procrastinator by nature, and sometimes it makes things more frustrating, and I don't do as good of a job as I normally would. I don't put in enough effort. But some instructors, if you make a mistake, they'll give you the opportunity to make corrections and resubmit it. But I'd rather do it right the first time. So, kind of breaking my rule, right on the top of the cap there. Letting people know here nearby that we're coming through. Just under 4 miles, so we're slowly making our way there. But I'm just curious to see how quickly our destination is. I remember, you know what? Hold on, let's just take a look here. Let's pause this real quick. It just says Cumberland. Okay, never mind. I thought it would said something about 18th Avenue. So we'll find out. We'll get there. Oh boy. Alright, let's get the brakes back on. Just. I know I should kind of let them go, but I feel a little bit uneasy as we get to the end of our destination, end of our stream here, that I'd really like to avoid a red light. I really would. I can't stress that enough. I would just be so demoralized if I do that. After everything that we've experienced on this route, that a red light would get us would just be, that would be too much. So I I said, if I have to throw it into emergency brake status and all that. So we're getting a few yellows here now. Let's just kind of take a look ahead of us here. Not seeing anything on the route. Okay, there's our last via location. Excuse me. I'm not seeing anything ahead of us that would suggest that there's any reason for a yellow, other than, you know, maybe we're starting to get closer to, as we get closer to our destination, which makes me think that our final spot that we stop at is not far from Ellerslie. Thank you still to my one viewer for, if you were here earlier and we just had to kind of get things restarted again. I do greatly appreciate you coming back and hanging out this entire time. I know it's not been the most exciting, although I guess in a way it has, but you know, it hasn't been it's not LGV Mediterranean or any of the ice trains or Southeastern high speed. It's just good old sand patch grade, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it entertaining and informative and all those other good things. I know I have, even though I'm kind of laughing at myself a lot of the times, and that's okay, it happens. But yeah, quite happy to have taken up the challenge from Pithers, and even though he said he knew I could do it, and I figured, well, I got to make sure I can prove him right. He was trying to go one of the other streamers into it, and that didn't work. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take it on. So it's okay. But ooh, this is going to take a while to download. It's going to take a while to upload. So I'll once we're done, I'm going to get working on that. Get this posted on YouTube, and I may have to schedule, because it's going to take a while for it to process on YouTube, because it's going to be quite a large file. So I may actually, you know what, yeah, I'll probably have to set it for a premiere at maybe 2:30. So I'm figuring we'll be done by 3-ish. Almost 2:30 now, so I'll probably have a premiere at 6:30 tonight, East Coast time, on YouTube. And you know, if you feel the need, you can kind of fast forward a little bit through, but watch the whole thing, especially when we were way back up over, probably around about here is when we started really having control issues with the train. Let's get on the brakes again here. Wow, that jumped down. I didn't even realize that. See, now we're going back up to 60. I figured there was a spot where it would get a little bit faster, but yeah, we're not about speed today, that's for sure. We're about slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So that's the motto of the day. What I used to say when I was a medic in the Army: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Oh, those brakes are working now, that's for sure. Look at that, boy, we let off a lot of speed quickly. That's good. Alright, we're almost to Ellerslie. We still got about a mile and a half to go there. Again, probably straight distance, not the zigzag of the following the miles on the track. That's okay. I'm really curious to see how much farther past that is our stop point. It's got to be, I'm almost certain it's either going to be somewhere up in here or somewhere. Well, if it was Cumberland Yard, it would say stop at the yard, I think. So I think it's before the yard, but we'll find out. Uh-oh, now the horns are not working at all. Oh boy. Wow, I guess the horn just decided. The horn decided to quit too. My second operator quit on me. The horns quit on me. Man. What a mess. Let's just see how things are here at the tail end of the train. Uh-oh. Wow. This thing's taking